As a professional actress, all my work is a kind of faking it till I make it. And whatever it is, that alchemy that transforms a bunch of learned words and actions into a relatable, believable performance has always been a mystery to me. In 2004, I was 12 years into my professional career, 5 years since quitting my day job, and I'd achieved a fair amount of success in the Washington theater scene. It was then that I was cast as Thaisa in Pericles at the Shakespeare Theater Company. Now, I'd played great roles prior to this, and I'd performed in big houses, but this was my first featured role at a prominent regional theater. It was directed by Mary Zimmerman, this big deal, super visual genius grant winner who'd put together an amazing cast of powerhouse actors. But talk about faking it. The first week of rehearsal was spent on table work. That's when the actors sit around a table and with the director and the dramaturg and the text coach just going through the script page by page, line by line, making sure everyone understands every single word. Now, I was familiar with a respectable amount of Shakespearean language, and I knew my way around a play in verse, iambic pentameter, right? But when some of the other actors started throwing around scholarly scansion phrases like feminine ending and inverted foot, I shrank in my chair. Colleen, you are definitely going to make a fool of yourself. But in any event, the role was mine. Oh, let me tell you about Thaisa's story in the play. As a young princess, well, I've always read a little young on stage. As a young, marriageable princess, I'm wooed by a parade of wealthy, accomplished suitors. Yeah, I don't pick any of them, no. I go with the humblest and the truest of heart, Pericles. To me, he seems like diamond to glass. Pericles and I fall in love, we get married, we start our family. But then I die, giving birth at sea in a storm. Pericles rages at the heavens, boxes up my body, and tips it into the sea. Unbeknownst to him, I am washed ashore, discovered, and magically revived. I then spend the next 20 years in devotion to the goddess Diana before the final scene of the play, when I am miraculously reunited with my beloved husband and the daughter I've never met. It was gorgeous. I felt like I had arrived. I brought every best part of myself to this show. I had a pre-show ritual. I would stand on stage before the prologue, behind the scrim. Scrim is this big mesh drop, sometimes used in theater. You can't see through it unless it's lit up from behind. So nobody can see me as I'm watching the audience filter in. And I use my improvised witchcraft to cast a spell, conjuring that sacred stillness that allows us to recognize ourselves in one another's stories. The actor playing Pericles, I'll call him Brian, is an actor's actor. He goes all in, fully committed to doing great work, without being remotely pretentious or precious, very easy to partner with creatively, super relatable on stage, an everyman. So night after night in this beautiful, tragic, funny, magical, redemptive play, Brian and I dive into the roles of Pericles and Thaisa. And as the weeks go by, I find myself more and more interested in going out with the guys for a drink after the show, and increasingly distracted by wanting to siphon off more of Brian's attention and really looking forward to the next performance. Brian and I were both in happy, committed, long-term relationships, in his case to his wife. But none of that mattered to my foolish Judas heart because I was in love. All of that fully committed, open heart faking it, and I'd made it all right. I was under no illusion that I would pursue this in any way off stage, but all the rational thinking in the world had zero impact on my addiction to the emotional life of the play. I could feel it in the tightening of my chest, in the flip-flopping of my stomach, and other sensations. Oh, Colleen, you have arrived. Look at you. This is completely unprofessional. A punk-ass pusher hooked on your own supply. I was too ashamed to tell my boyfriend. Too scared he would no longer trust me as custodian of my own wayward heart. So now, on top of everything else, I was keeping secrets. In an effort to work through my love angst, I wrote a poem. It was a sweet, tortured thing. In it, I described my feeling for Brian as a tasty cake of pain. And I'd resolved to give him a copy before the end of the run. I wanted to cop to it. I guess I was looking for his understanding, maybe his forgiveness. Well, come the night, we were both at a party shortly before closing. I guzzled down my Dutch courage and cornered Brian with the poem in my sweaty hand. I wrote this. I just wanted to tell you, I really just wanted, this is for you, sorry. And yeah, giving him the poem did make the end of the run a little extra weird, but it also managed to clear my head some. And Brian made a gesture to signal that our friendship was still intact. He gave me a tasty cake. I still don't understand the alchemy of great theater, but I sure do respect it. Never again have I fallen under my own spell. Shakespeare said it best. A fool thinks himself to be wise, but a wise man knows himself to be a fool.